Hello everyone and welcome out to WWE 2K14 Universe. I am your host Church and you're watching Friday Night SmackDown. We're just 3 weeks, I believe, maybe 4, away from the next SmackDown big event, which is Over the Limit. Oh god, I messed with my monitor settings because I had an image enhancement function and it makes the game look way better, like less blurry, but it also is so sharp.
Making his way to the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing 241 pounds, the rated R superstar, Edge.
I'm gonna try using this a little more. Sorry. It looks really nice in a weird way. It also looks really janky in another way though, so maybe not. Yeah, so we are back here on SmackDown, and here tonight on SmackDown we have got the rated R superstar Edge kicking things off, who has openly declared that as the superior, his words, not mine, Canadian superstar here in the here on Friday Night SmackDown, he will be answering the challenge of one fraud, one phony, one joke of a champion, Bret Hart. He will be accepting the open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship next week here on SmackDown. Edge has declared that Bret Hart is wasting away the Intercontinental Championship.
Representing the New World Order from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 200 pounds, the Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Syxx.
What's more to that is Edge claims that he is done being a tag team champion. He says for the time being, the wrestling world do not deserve he and Christian as the WWE Tag Team Champions, and they will not be getting them as the WWE Tag Team Champions. And by the world, that includes you. If you're listening, he's talking about you. I'm getting those random frame jumps again I was getting on Raw and NXT. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm trying to think why I could be getting them. Because, like, I'm not entirely convinced they're going to come through on the video, because I think it's actually, just my monitor that's fucking up. Six pack. Six pack of beers. I have no idea what's going on right now because my screen's just going black. I thought I'd quickly try resetting my monitor to see if that stops whatever I'm dealing with from happening. It's still going. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, anyway, Edge just said that he's going to prove his point in being a worthy challenger for the Intercontinental Championship by defeating the Cruiserweight Champion here tonight, which I feel is a little bit different, honestly. But hey, if that's what helps Edge sleep at night, you know, as the old saying goes, if that's what helps you sleep at night, pal. If beating Syxx is what Edge thinks will help his chances of proving to the world that this man is worthy of being an Intercontinental Champion, then by all means, wow us, Edge. Oh, what is going on with this? This is rough, man. This is terrible. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna try something. Is that any better?
Did you hear how his leg connected?
No.
What an impact from that kick!
Right. Okay. I'm gonna try this now.
Syxx.
It's still pretty bad. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try and work that out off screen. God, if it's not one problem, it's another. I'm convinced. I can't win with what I do at the moment. There's always something going wrong. If it's not my microphone and all these sound problems I've been having, then it's this. Just can't seem to get anything to work right now. It's really infuriating because it's like I know no one cares or probably even sees the problem that I'm dealing with, but like literally, I don't know how to explain it. It's like every 2 to 3 seconds, the video just like pausing randomly, like it's like stuttering. It was doing it all of Raw and NXT, which is why I ended up not playing most of the matches, because it was like really infuriating to try and deal with, but I thought, okay, maybe it will stop. No, it's gotten worse. Maybe it was just like a bad day, or it was like the USB cables they had hooked in or something. Nope. I don't know what it is. So, I will try to fix this. I do apologize for this coming up so often. I know it's not fun to listen to. I don't really know why I keep talking about it in video. I think it's just because it's the only time I'm going to see it happening. So, of course, this one I'm going to talk about it. Anyway, let's try to focus on this match as best as I can and just ignore what I'm looking directly at this entire match. So Edge is making very light work of the Cruiserweight Champion Syxx right now, I must admit. And he, as I said before, he wants to basically take out Syxx tonight as a prime example of what this man is capable of when it comes to stepping up into the ring with champions ahead of his Intercontinental Championship match with Bret Hart next week. Bret has, of course, gladly accepted the challenge from Edge for the Intercontinental Championship. He was intending on doing one of his weekly or bi-weekly open challenges anyway. So if it's going to be against Edge, then by all means, it's going to be against Edge. I don't really think he's too fussed who it's against. Syxx now resorting to desperate measures here. As I can tell, this guy was getting a little bit overwhelmed. Will that be enough to take Edge out of the match? No, he's up. Syxx comes into the ring. And gets caught by Edge with a belly-to-belly. Edge now going in for the cover on the Cruiserweight Champion, but he's unable to defeat him with that one. Speaking of tag team competition, you got Edge saying that him and Christian are taking a step away from tag team competition because it's his time to be a singles champion, as is it Christian's in his eyes. The tag team champions themselves have been saying that there isn't enough competition right now here on SmackDown and that they demand more, tougher competition. So our new SmackDown General Manager, Mr. Paul Heyman, has said that tonight Chris Jericho will have to suck it up, deal with it, and face Rey Mysterio. But if he wants tougher competition, then here's what will happen. He can face The Undertaker next week here on SmackDown. And there's JR again. I love when he randomly makes an appearance. Syxx managing to kick out of the... Well, sorry, he didn't kick out of the spear. He avoided the spear. My mistake. Edge going in for a cover here, and... it's JR again. X-Pac now. What's he gonna do here? Oh. Okay. Thought maybe he was looking for that super kick. We've been seeing him bust out a lot lately. His mentor Shawn Michaels' finishing move. One thing that kind of implies any kind of an allegiance with Shawn Michaels and Edge. You see that there? Complete and utter disrespect to the Cruiserweight Champion. Edge putting his arms up and going, is this really the best the SmackDown has to offer right now? This guy is just manhandling the Cruiserweight Champion Syxx. Why is this guy getting finishes like crazy, by the way? Side note, breaking character for a second, why is he getting finishes like mad? He kicked out of a pin and got one. Float over DDT by Edge. And I think Edge is really making a prime example out of this Cruiserweight Champion. You got to think this is a completely different weight class and division. These two shouldn't really be locking up all too much. But I tell you, if Edge can't beat the Cruiserweight Champion tonight, how does he expect to defeat the Intercontinental Champion for the title next week? Super kick there by Syxx, dead center of the ring. It's really hard to time reversals when the game's like this fucking pausey. I want a little bit of credit for being able to still pull a lot of reversals and stuff off right now. Syxx rolling up Edge. Edge with a kick out. What's Syxx doing here? Ooh, got this chokehold in. Syxx forcing Edge into a submission. And he does it. Edge tapping out. That's gotta be hard on the ego for Edge. As here comes Kurt Hennig to celebrate with his buddy, I assume.
Here is your winner, representing the New World Order, Syxx.
Well, Syxx just bested Edge ahead of the Intercontinental Championship match that's set to take place. Where'd the music go? I don't know if it's the record, if it's my end that's messing up with the game at this point. But yeah, Edge is set to challenge Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title next week. This loss here tonight is not going to leave me too confident in Edge's chances for next week, but I guess anything can happen next week on SmackDown with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Okay, I'm back. I think I fixed the problem I was having. It's all good now. I hope.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 235 pounds, R-Truth.
And we're hearing some love for the superstar here.
Well, R-Truth is set to face off against CM Punk right now here tonight, and CM Punk has said that he is getting sick and tired of being overlooked, that this man is too good to be in the position that he is currently in, where he is not getting any opportunity to prove himself to the world. He has had enough of waiting, and he's going to go through R-Truth here tonight, and many, many more in the near future, to prove to the world that he is exactly what he has branded himself as, the best in the world.
From Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 222 pounds, CM.
I must admit, CM Punk has had it kind of rough for a long time now. This guy has just been waiting and waiting and waiting for an opportunity. And, you know, he's come close on a few occasions. You know, when he first started in the first season, this guy was in talks as the top contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. He's a former World Tag Team Champion. He's competed for the United States Championship multiple times. But the time has come in CM Punk's mind to just say enough is enough, and I want the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I don't know if CM Punk is really in a position to make this demand. I don't know if he's anywhere near the level of Triple H, you know, ready to face Triple H, especially. But he insists the time has come. Enough is enough for CM Punk, and if he's not going to get his way, he is out that door sooner than later. I do wonder if SmackDown's management will take notice of CM Punk. Here we go, Punk and R-Truth, and yeah, I fixed the lag problem. You guys want to know what it was? I don't mind sharing with you all what it was. It's really funny. Really, really funny. So, my graphics card, I have an NVIDIA graphics card, and every one of them has like shadow play and all that set up on your computer by default with those things. And one of the things it can do is it can have a frame rate counter. I don't remember turning the frame rate counter on, but the frame rate counter was on, and the whole time there was a frame rate in the corner telling me that this game was running at 59 frames. It was seemingly causing some lag. Not just in this, I loaded up 2K14 on my computer and tried playing it, and just having that little counter in the corner seemed to be causing a lot of problems. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why that's the case. I'd think that they'd be able to handle a little counter in the corner, but something about, I guess, the resources used to keep count or whatever was just causing problems, because even when I wasn't recording it was lagging. Literally just opening up this capture, I was getting lag, and turns out that's why. I don't really know the ins and outs of computers very well, so I don't know why that would cause that, but that's a new one. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a frame rate counter cause problems before. I kept forgetting it was even there. I think I turned it on once when I was test playing like 2K14 with the highest settings when I first got it on my laptop to see like how it was running, and it was, you know, it was a smooth 59 or 60, whatever you have it set to. It was just a smooth, exactly what you'd want it to be, but it seems like having it on all the time has actually started to cause some problems, so it's off. It's turned off. I know no one cares, but I think it might have affected the videos, and for that reason you should care. I don't expect you to care, but I will say that when it affects the videos and you're the one watching the video, probably, I mean, even just hearing me talk about it was probably affecting the video, but you know, it happens. R-Truth in control of CM Punk, and imagine what a victory this could be for R-Truth here tonight. I tell you, Truth has been very impressive. His match with Syxx a few weeks ago, both of his matches with Syxx in recent weeks, I'd say were both outstanding performances from R-Truth. I think CM Punk is about to find out firsthand just how gifted this superstar is. R-Truth is a phenomenal talent. I actually feel like coming here to SmackDown, kind of stepping away from the Awesome Truth label, being in a tag team with The Miz, I feel like this is actually doing wonders for R-Truth. I feel like he's getting a chance to really prove himself. And the fans obviously really like R-Truth too. And that, oh! Okay, that was an interesting reversal for the lie detector. CM Punk catching a dazed R-Truth into a snap suplex. Now Punk with Truth up on his feet. Okay, Punk wasting absolutely no time scooping R-Truth up for a go to sleep, and there you go. I think Truth, oh no, that's smart. He pulled Truth's hand in from the ropes, but Truth able to kick out of the go to sleep. And now Truth gonna give him the little Jimmy. R-Truth could pin CM Punk. Punk was able to kick out though. Yeah, see, that's more normal. I get a little bit of lag occasionally. I think that's just part of this game. Like, I mean, I'd like to think a computer that can run 2K19 on its highest settings can handle 2K14 pass through a PS3 just fine. Drop kick on Truth from CM Punk, who is coming in hot here. Lays out Truth. CM Punk now. The Truth up on his feet. What's he gonna do? Another one of these suplexes. Falcon Arrow, I believe that's called. Is that right? I mean, it's basically the same move that Tiny Shiny does. Or is that Gourd Buster? I don't know. Elbowing away at R-Truth as he continues to get all fired up and now locking in the Anaconda Vice, but Truth's feet were in the ropes. Truth drop at CM Punk, and I don't really feel like this is the most appropriate thing to be doing with your time if you're R-Truth right now. But hey, if it works, it works. Truth rolling up CM Punk. Imagine if he pins CM Punk this way here. CM Punk turning it around, and that's it. CM Punk catching Truth off guard with a reversal of that roll up. In for the victory. He is the self-professed best in the world, and he says that he wants the World Heavyweight Championship. With Over the Limit just 4 weeks away, could CM Punk be on his way to a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity? It's hard to say, but you know, if he is unsuccessful in getting that title shot, you know, at the end of the month, there is still Money in the Bank in 2 months' time. That could be CM Punk's time to shine. And speaking of that being in 2 months' time, we have some comments from the Mr. Money in the Bank Damian Sandow. We don't actually have the footage of this interview available, but I will be able to quote it in just a moment.
Making his way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, 172 pounds, he is the European champion, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Well, it was 1 week ago that Sheamus said that he would not be defending his European Championship at this past Sunday's Raw Extreme Rules pay-per-view. He says, no, this is SmackDown property. Daniel Bryan failed Raw when he lost the championship at WrestleMania, and he will not be giving him any opportunity, or any Raw superstar an opportunity. That very same night, Eddie Guerrero won contendership for the European Championship, and he holds a victory over Sheamus already.
Introducing the challenger from El Paso, Texas, weighing 228 pounds, Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero was approached for questions in regards to this European Championship match and what he could maybe change about what Sheamus said. Would he honor Daniel Bryan's rematch? Would he defend against Raw? Eddie Guerrero simply said, absolutely no way. If he wins this championship, this is still a SmackDown championship as far as he is concerned. He wants nothing to do with anyone on Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, regardless of the outcome here tonight, this championship remains a part of exclusively Friday Night SmackDown, which I suppose in turn means that the Divas Championship will remain only featured on Raw, as well as the entire Divas division. One thing that both general managers have managed to agree on is the Cruiserweight Championship will remain a floating championship to be defended between both brands. I tell you, after Syxx just pinned Edge, a former World Heavyweight Champion, and one half of the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions in history, it's going to be impressive when someone takes that championship off of Syxx. That's what this match is all about, and this would be Eddie Guerrero's first championship win if he can win the big one tonight. 20 minutes on the clock, and this match is officially underway. Sheamus going straight in with a belly-to-belly European title at stake. And you may have already seen there, but I am very open to any outcome here tonight. What I will say is recently we saw Sheamus defeat Ryback here on SmackDown, so do not underestimate the European champion. I know that he suffered a loss to Eddie Guerrero about a month ago here on SmackDown, but times could be a-changin', and we may see Eddie Guerrero come out with a victory tonight against Sheamus. We could see Sheamus walk out with a victory over Eddie Guerrero, as opposed to what we saw in the past. I was going to relay some information. Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to talk about Damien Sandow and his comments in regards to Money in the Bank quickly approaching. We're now in the month of May. He's got until the July pay-per-view Money in the Bank to cash that briefcase in. And when approached for questions on if Damien Sandow has any intentions of cashing that in soon, he says he's not a moron. He's not a Neanderthal. He has been constantly very aware of his Money in the Bank briefcase and his opportunity to cash it in, but he still doesn't feel like the time is right, and a genius knows what a genius knows. Sandow has a plan, and we all just have to wait and see it play out. That's all we got. I don't know what any of that really implies. I don't know when Damien Sandow is going to cash in. I don't think anyone does. But I'd definitely say he's passed up some pretty big opportunities already. I'm trying to clean my glasses in case you hear any funky noises in the background. They're very creaky, actually. I never really noticed.
Countered by Sheamus.
So I would love to see when and if Damien Sandow still intends on cashing his briefcase. He insists he absolutely does. But we haven't seen Sandow since he lost the United States Championship to Dolph Ziggler. He hasn't made a single appearance this season. We're now on, what, the 5th week? I do wonder what is going on with Damien Sandow right now, because something most certainly is going on with Damien Sandow. Either he suffered an injury at WrestleMania, or, you know, he's picking his spot and he's trying to kind of give himself maybe some recovery time. I don't know what's going on, but something is fishy. God, I'm just trying to get my glasses as clean as they can be. Because I'm having, I don't know, shout out to any glasses wearing viewers here, but everything just looks really cloudy. I know I need to really get some glasses wipes, but I don't think I've got any at the moment. But I'm aware that that would probably fix exactly the problem I'm dealing with. I've seen what, like, screen wipes can do, and it's like, yeah, that's probably exactly the solution that I'm looking for. That's a lot better. I think I got there eventually. In the meantime, I find that if you're using your shirt, like I think most people do with their glasses eventually, finding the right fabrics is a good one. I have one shirt that like does nothing. I've got this hoodie here, which, depending on which part I use, seems to do a pretty good job. Ooh, fascinating stuff, I know. I'm coming up tonight. Obviously, I haven't really spoken about it, but our main event tonight is a one-on-one matchup between Randy Orton and JBL, with the World Heavyweight Championship supposed to be defended last week between Triple H and Randy Orton. JBL has now entered the fray and claimed that he wants a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, that he is not waiting in line. He is coming here to Raw. I mean, coming here to SmackDown, a former WWE champion from Raw, and he's got a lot to prove to the world, and he's not going to wait his turn. So I guess we'll see. Put him in a body bag, I believe I just heard. So glad that's around. Put him in a body bag.
Eddie Guerrero to do now? Listen, he has a speed advantage, so sooner or later he's going to dodge or counter one of those moves, and if that happens, he's right back in. These guys are giving it absolutely everything they've got. Man, that one rocked him. He was able to reverse that. My goodness, a vicious
Sorry, I'm
boot to the
just
skull.
giving my voice a rest again. I've got a lot of recording to do still tonight. Sheamus back up to his feet very quickly there. Eddie Guerrero with the takedown. I feel like sometimes just letting it speak for itself is probably a good thing, though, to be honest. Like, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I feel like that would probably be for the best sometimes. Takedown there by Eddie Guerrero. Up next, Eddie Guerrero's former ally Rey Mysterio is in action, as he looks to knock off one half of the World Tag Team Champions in Chris Jericho. Obviously, Mysterio and Sin Cara of the belief that Jericho has Big Show in almost entirely to credit for that championship defense last week on SmackDown, and I would have to agree with Mysterio and Sin Cara. I feel like they've been very impressive as a tag team combination, but the Big Show kind of almost mauled both of them, and is the only reason that they struggle to really ever find their footing in that match. Jericho insists he is a phenomenal top-tier talent, and that even though he's happy to be, you know, the tag team champion, he wants real competition. He wants someone bigger, someone better. As I mentioned earlier tonight, he was greeted by that challenge by being told that when after he faces Mysterio tonight, he'll be meeting The Undertaker next week on SmackDown. A big Irish curse backbreaker there by Sheamus. The cover attempt, and only a 2. And now, oh boy, here we go. The high cross from Sheamus, slamming down Eddie Guerrero. Sheamus now going in for the cover. Is this going to be enough to get the job done? Ooh, Sheamus. Rarely ever has he witnessed someone kick out of the high cross. And now Eddie looking for a brain buster. Oh! Will that be enough to defeat Sheamus? Will we get a title change? Oh my god. A one count. Oh, I mean, Eddie does have to remember he is in there with the longest reigning World Heavyweight Champion in history. Sheamus booting off Eddie Guerrero there as he could have been looking for that lasso from El Paso. And now Sheamus coming in, move after move, drops down Eddie Guerrero. The European Champion is in control. Irish Curse backbreaker. Is that enough? Have we seen the end of Eddie in this matchup? No, 2. Irish whip into the corner, and now clothesline from Sheamus. It looks like the big guy is looking to perhaps wrap this one. Oh, no. Oh. Interesting little exchange there between Guerrero and Sheamus.
Championship on the line. No block.
Midsection caught there by Eddie Guerrero. The challenger looking to be very impressive once again. DDT takes him down.
He's got to dig deep here or he'll be in real trouble.
Eddie really in control right now. Seemed like a second ago Sheamus really had this in the palm of his hands, but something just went wrong. Eddie, what is this? Oh, Eddie with a gory bomb. Shades of his nephew Chavo used to be a big part of ECW. And a big clubbing strike to the back of Eddie Guerrero. Has Sheamus just defeated Eddie Guerrero with that one? Is that going to be the end of this matchup? No. And a brogue kick. That's got to be it. Lights out for Eddie Guerrero with that one. Sheamus retains the European Championship. I feel like this is exactly the problem that we've got right now for a lot of superstars, though, is for as long as Sheamus is holding that European Championship, who is going to beat him? How are they going to beat him? Sheamus, the successful defending European champion here tonight, overcomes Eddie Guerrero with this major victory and gets revenge for the loss he suffered to Eddie 1 month ago. One man who will be laughing at Eddie Guerrero's expense for this one is Rey Mysterio, and we'll see if Mysterio can have a better night ahead of him than Eddie, as he gets ready to face one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Chris Jericho, up next. If he can defeat Jericho, there may very well be a World Tag Team Championship opportunity once again down the line for the team of Mysterio and Sin Cara.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from San Diego, California, weighing 175 pounds, Rey Mysterio.
Well, as I said last week, he was unsuccessful in winning the World Tag Team Championship alongside his buddy Sin Cara, and obviously I must admit, I know that Rey Mysterio, in a lot of people's eyes, myself included, is very much the bigger name, so to speak, in this combination. You know, I don't mean any disrespect to Sin Cara. I think he's a great talent. I actually think that him alongside Rey Mysterio, that's the right position for Sin Cara to maybe turn his career around. I feel like we've seen him in some pretty bad spots in the past, but I feel like this association might be exactly what he needs. And I'm rooting for the two to find their success, but as it currently stands, Rey Mysterio is very much the stronger part of that tag team, and maybe they do have a way to go before competing for the tag team titles. However, here tonight, they face off against what they believe to be the weak link of Jericho, and that is Chris Jericho.
And approaching the ring from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing 231 pounds, one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Chris Jericho.
Last week we saw a level of arrogance from this man that I have not seen on display from anyone in a good long while. Big Show did almost all of the dirty work in their tag team championship defense last week, and then Jericho simply turning to Big Show and saying, "I got it from here, why don't you go hit the showers," and just letting his partner walk out and not even continue with the match. And then he retained the tag team titles by himself because, of course, as he'd already implied, Big Show had done all the dirty work. There wasn't really that much left for Jericho to do. There's really no shine on those belts in this game, which is so weird. They're like PS2 graphics belts in a PS3 game. Like, I'm happy to be using them, but they feel like they're missing a little bit of detail.
This is gonna be great.
Mysterio takes control of Jericho nice and quick here tonight. And remember, Jericho is set to face off against The Undertaker next week. How do you prepare for that? You know, a man who, honestly, in my opinion, should be competing for the World Heavyweight Championship in The Undertaker. How do you prepare for that as Chris Jericho? I really wish I had an answer.
Who's gonna get the advantage and maintain control? What a vicious boot delivered by Chris Jericho. Boy, he was able to reverse and get out of that. And
Nice
there's
reversal
the
there by Chris Jericho as he elbows the head of Rey Mysterio, and now taking down Mysterio. You can expect this one to be pretty fast-paced. Two very gifted athletes in this ring. Mysterio definitely more fast than Jericho, but Jericho a lot more smart than Rey Mysterio. And brains really do play a big part in this match. There's Bulldog there by Mysterio as... Oh, Guerrero gets to his feet. He's greeted with another quick strike by Mysterio. Comes off the... Comes off the ropes and got forearmed in the back mid-air. Maybe that was the front, I'm not entirely sure. Side suplex by Jericho as he takes back control of this matchup and takes down Rey Mysterio with a side suplex of his own. Still looking forward to our main event up next. Randy Orton and JBL one-on-one with Over the Limit looming overhead now, 1 month away. You got to think the World Heavyweight Championship will need to be defended at that event. Unfortunately, it seems like Triple H's last defense was kind of wiped from the records, so to speak, last week. He never even got his match with Randy Orton started after JBL made his SmackDown debut by returning and attacking both members of that match. Mysterio taking a fight to the corner, and Jericho with a great reversal and a clothesline. Now stomping down on the elbow. This World Tag Team Champion feeling very confident in himself right now. As he tears apart the announce table. And how many times have we seen people do that and come to regret it? That was very unfortunate.
He was able to reverse that too. I just can't get on.
Jericho. Oh, wow. Okay. I was going to say, maybe looking to bring the fight back into the ring. I guess not. Into the announce table. And as he hears the count of 5, Jericho gets back in the ring. What is he doing? What on earth is Jericho doing? Jericho delivering a code breaker. I feel like that would just hurt himself. But through the table, Rey Mysterio got laid out. Mysterio going to be able to get up. Codebreaker through the announce table. I do feel like Jericho would have taken the brunt of that move, but Mysterio back up to his feet somehow. Jericho really seems to be blundering a little bit here.
Back in the ring.
Nice move there by Mysterio.
Getting dropped to the canvas.
Drops Jericho down to the ground, and Mysterio seems to be finding some fight in him still despite that code breaker. Comes off the top rope. And he catches Jericho in a series of moves like only Rey Mysterio can dish out. Stomps in the gut, kick to the midsection. Rey Mysterio fired up. Can he finish off this World Tag Team Champion elbow by Chris Jericho, and another code breaker? That whole sequence of Rey Mysterio, as we just witnessed, shut down by a single pair of knees to the face, and Jericho defeats Rey Mysterio. Well, you hate to see it, but unfortunately that is just the way the cookie crumbled tonight for Rey Mysterio.
Here is your winner, Chris Jericho.
Absolutely amazing.
Great performance here tonight, I must admit. I think this was a good showing by Rey Mysterio. He managed to hang in there pretty nicely despite it all, but Chris Jericho bringing that code breaker in at just the right time. He turns things around for himself and he picks up an important victory as we move towards our main event up next. It's a one-on-one matchup. Randy Orton and JBL. We've been told that this is not a contenders match and that the current situation with the World Heavyweight Championship is under heavy consideration for what will happen next. So, I guess we'll find out what that means in due time. But for now, at least, we will be seeing JBL and Randy Orton one-on-one. Well, here's Randy. Oh, JBL attacking Randy Orton from behind.
What a sneaky attack.
Throwing him into the ring. Wait a second, was that Mark Henry? What the hell? Where did he come from? I didn't even realize that. JBL attacking Randy Orton from behind, and then where the hell did Mark Henry come from?
The excitement of the air is palpable.
What on earth?
Barred contest.
Randy Orton was set to compete against JBL in our main event. We came back from commercial. Randy Orton halfway through his entrance here, and he was ambushed by JBL, who was supposed to be fighting. And now he's having to fend off Mark Henry. Is this an official match? What's happening?
He's the world's strongest man.
The last time these two set foot in the ring, Mark Henry was, so to speak, a little bit humiliated by Randy Orton as he was hit with a, out of the blue, elevated RKO. Henry took that incredibly personally. And now Mark Henry, oh, I don't think this is a sanctioned match, and I feel like the referee should really get his hands. Okay, no. What are you doing? No, that doesn't make any sense. That literally doesn't make any sense. Never mind that last bit there. That was nothing. JBL assisting Mark Henry in dissecting Randy Orton. It seems as though maybe JBL, I mean, obviously for Mark Henry, I think this is more about, this is about pride. This is about kind of the offense that he took from the way he was stood up by Randy Orton. Whereas for JBL, I'm assuming this is all about getting Orton out of the picture so that there's no one in his way for a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity with Triple H. And obviously, I guess if you're Triple H right now, you got a lot of targets on your back. As I can only imagine Mark Henry perhaps also has his sights set on the World Heavyweight Championship. And when things go outside the ring like this, they go from bad to worse. Let me assure you that. Oh. Mark Henry brutalizing Randy Orton. I mean, we've already seen this thing torn apart once tonight. Really need this more. Mark Henry, well, I mean, this is definitely not a sanctioned match. With that steel chair perhaps coming into play. Oh, into play. And Mark Henry slamming down repeatedly. The referee has told Mark Henry to call this one off. And it looks like, thankfully, Mark Henry has. This could have gotten a lot worse here. Oh no. Sexual Chocolate is here. And he's got the Divas Champion. No! He just destroyed Randy Orton. Stop ruining my plans. Randy Orton has been destroyed by Mark Henry. What could this mean for the future of the World Heavyweight Championship scene here on SmackDown? Fucking THQ ass bitch.